How to use the phrase, alam mo ba, or do you know in Tagalog. The Tagalog phrase, alam mo ba, is composed of three words. Alam, meaning know, mo means you, and the Tagalog question particle, ba, which has no equivalent in English. Alam mo ba? Do you know? The sentence pattern that you will often see in this lesson is, alam mo ba kung? Kung means if in English, so you might think that alam mo ba kung translates into do you know if. Well, it's correct, but that's not always the case in Tagalog, and you will see why in our example sentences. Alam mo ba kung anong oras na? Alam mo ba kung anong oras na? Meaning, do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? So you might be wondering where kung is in the English translation. Well, it's not there because kung only acts as a conjunction in order to connect the phrase alam mo ba and the independent clause anong oras na. If we will insist on translating it with the word kung, the sentence will be, do you know if what time it is? Which doesn't make sense. So just think of kung in the sentence pattern as a conjunction that doesn't need to be translated. Alam mo ba kung paano gumawa ng sushi? Alam mo ba kung paano gumawa ng sushi? Do you know how to make sushi? Do you know how to make sushi? Alam mo ba kung magkano ang bentilador na to? Alam mo ba kung magkano ang bentilador na to? Do you know how much this electric fan is? Do you know how much this electric fan is? Alam mo ba kung saan siya nakatira? Alam mo ba kung saan siya nakatira? Do you know where she lives? Do you know where she lives? Alam mo ba kung bukas ang bangko bukas? Alam mo ba kung bukas ang bangko bukas? Do you know if the bank is open tomorrow? Do you know if the bank is open tomorrow? Bukas and bukas are Tagalog heteronyms because they have the same spelling but they are pronounced differently and they have different meanings. The first one is bukas. Bukas, which is a Tagalog adjective meaning open. Bukas. Alam mo ba kung bukas? And the other one is bukas. Bukas. It's a Tagalog adverb of time meaning tomorrow. Bukas. Alam mo ba kung nasaan si Joel? Alam mo ba kung nasaan si Joel? Do you know where Joel is? Do you know where Joel is? Alam mo ba kung sino-sino ang mga taong yon? Alam mo ba kung sino-sino ang mga taong yon? Do you know who those people are? Do you know who those people are? Alam mo ba kung sino yon? Alam mo ba kung sino yon? Do you know who it is? Or do you know who that is? Alam mo ba kung ilang taon na si Neneth? Alam mo ba kung ilang taon na si Neneth? Do you know how old Neneth is? Do you know how old Neneth is? Alam mo ba kung bakit siya umiiyak? Alam mo ba kung bakit siya umiiyak? Do you know why she's crying? Do you know why she's crying? Alam mo ba kung ano ang sinabi ni Dennis? Alam mo ba kung ano ang sinabi ni Dennis? Do you know what Dennis said? Do you know what Dennis said? Alam mo ba kung nasa opisina si Chris? Alam mo ba kung nasa opisina si Chris? Do you know if Chris is in the office? Do you know if Chris is in the office? I'm sure you're asking yourself, how come kung is included in the English translation? The answer is, because kung here presents a choice between alternatives. Is Chris in the office or not? You want to know if he's there or not. So to avoid confusion, instead of using if, let's try whether in our translation. Do you know whether Chris is in the office? Do you know whether Chris is in the office? Alam mo ba kung gising siya? Alam mo ba kung gising siya? Do you know if he's awake? Do you know if he's awake? The word kung here presents a doubt. The speaker wants to know whether or not the person he's looking for is awake. Alam mo ba kung ibinibenta ni Emil ang talyer niya? Alam mo ba kung ibinibenta ni Emil ang talyer niya? Do you know if Emil is selling his auto repair shop? Do you know if Emil is selling his auto repair shop? Again, there are two possibilities here. Is he selling the shop or not? That's why the word if is in the translation. Alam mo ba ang ibig sabihin ng salitang ito? Alam mo ba ang ibig sabihin ng salitang ito? Do you know the meaning of this word? Do you know the meaning of this word? Alam mo ba kung marunong magtagalog si Jinsu? Alam mo ba kung marunong magtagalog si Jinsu? Do you know if Jinsu can speak Tagalog? Do you know if Jinsu can speak Tagalog? Alam mo ba kung magkano ang gastos papuntang Coron? Alam mo ba kung magkano ang gastos papuntang Coron? Do you know how much a trip to Coron costs? Do you know how much a trip to Coron costs? Alam mo ba kung mas matamis ang atis kaysa sa chiko? Alam mo ba kung mas matamis ang atis kaysa sa chiko? Do you know if custard apples are sweeter than sapodillas? Do you know if custard apples are sweeter than sapodillas? Alam mo ba kung iinit bukas? Alam mo ba kung iinit bukas? Do you know if it will be warm tomorrow? Do you know if it will be warm tomorrow? Alam mo ba kung nasaan sila? Alam mo ba kung nasaan sila? Do you know where they are? Do you know where they are? Alam mo ba kung saan ko inilagay ang resibo? Alam mo ba kung saan ko inilagay ang resibo? Do you know where I put the receipt? Do you know where I put the receipt? Alam mo ba kung nagsimula na ang laro? Alam mo ba kung nagsimula na ang laro? Do you know if the game has started? Do you know if the game has started? Alam mo ba kung sasama sila sa atin? Alam mo ba kung sasama sila sa atin? Do you know if they are coming with us? Do you know if they are coming with us? Alam mo ba ang kantang Pilipinas kong mahal? Alam mo ba ang kantang Pilipinas kong mahal? Do you know the song Pilipinas kong mahal? Do you know the song Pilipinas kong mahal? Alam mo ba kung bakit kita pinara? Alam mo ba kung bakit kita pinara? Do you know why I pulled you over? Do you know why I pulled you over? Alam mo ba kung gaano kabilis ang takbo mo? Alam mo ba kung gaano kabilis ang takbo mo? Do you know how fast you were going? Do you know how fast you were going? Alam mo ba kung bakit nasisante si Jay? Alam mo ba kung bakit nasisante si Jay? Do you know why Jay was fired? Do you know why Jay was fired? Alam mo ba kung paano gamitin ang air fryer? Alam mo ba kung paano gamitin ang air fryer? Do you know how to use the air fryer? Do you know how to use the air fryer? Alam mo ba kung paano pumunta sa Tagaytay? Alam mo ba kung paano pumunta sa Tagaytay? Do you know how to get to Tagaytay? Do you know how to get to Tagaytay? Alam mo ba kung paano magluto ng kare-kare? Alam mo ba kung paano magluto ng kare-kare? Do you know how to cook kare-kare? Do you know how to cook kare-kare? Alam mo ba kung kanino galing ito? Alam mo ba kung kanino galing to? Do you know whom it's from? Do you know whom it's from? Alam mo ba kung sino ang nagpadala nito? Alam mo ba kung sino ang nagpadala nito? Do you know who sent it? Or do you know who sent this? Alam mo ba kung sino ang umubos ng mga mangga? Alam mo ba kung sino ang umubos ng mga mangga? Do you know who ate all the mangoes? Do you know who ate all the mangoes? Alam mo ba kung kailan siya babalik? Alam mo ba kung kailan siya babalik? Do you know when he will be back? Do you know when he will be back? Alam mo ba kung anong oras magsisimula ang meeting? Alam mo ba kung anong oras magsisimula ang meeting? Do you know what time the meeting starts? Do you know what time the meeting starts? Alam mo ba kung paano ginagawa ang pulot-pukyutan? Alam mo ba kung paano ginagawa ang pulot-pukyutan? Do you know how honey is made? Do you know how honey is made?